Nick Yeoman.
Yeah, Graham Rahall's had some good runs here as well. One Cure, the sponsorship on Graham Rahall's machine. Car 15 exits the little kink in turn number 7, down the back straightaway underneath the pedestrian bridge, and bends that car into the right-hander mark of turn number 8, heading downhill.
Seeing Kyle Kirkwood, Marcus Ericsson, Scott Dixon also picking up the pace a little bit. It's Castro Neves, Dixon, Ericsson, Rossi, Kirkwood, Stingray, Robb, then Eilert, Grosjean, Newgarden, VK, Malukas, Peterson, and Graham Rahal with 5 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the session. Let's get an update on right now the fastest of the session, Elio Castro Neves from Alex Wolff.
And the winner of the inaugural IndyCar race here at Barber Motorsports Park back in 2010, Elio Castro Neves, who had a pretty big off during the practice session yesterday, is in the pits. And just as Davey Hamilton talked about, it looks like they're getting ready to go double reds. They right now have that car shut off, that Honda, as they try to cool things off and get ready to put another set of reds on as they try to advance in this first round.
It's like we talked about earlier today, Davey, the way you play those reds a little bit, because your goal is, bottom line is this, you're trying to get to the round of 12 at this point.
That's right. Right now, if you're struggling and you know there's really no chance other than just like, hey, let's throw everything that we have at it and let's use both sets of reds. Let's go out in the first group. Just see where we're at. Just like, for example, right now, Elio's third quickest. Grosjean, Dixon are faster than him on the black tires. That's not a good sign. So they need to make some changes on that car, Elio's, because it means he's on the faster, softer tire. They should be at least a half a second quicker on the softer tire than the standard black. So he's already in trouble. Stingray Robb the same. He's in 9th position, already out of that top 6 on that on the red softer tire. So they need to make more adjustments, go out and try it again.
Halfway point of the session, Grosjean, Dixon, Castro Neves, Newgarden, Kirkwood, and Alexander Rossi in the Fast 6. Ericsson and VK, we expect to see them move up, Davey.
Yeah, we're going to see them move up, almost sure of it. And there's don't count out like Graham Rahal, Malukas. They've been in the game. They've been close. Ericsson, he's in 7th right now. I expect to see him come towards the front. As you said, Joseph Newgarden with those reds on right now as he goes out to try to lay down another lap. But bottom line is there's 8 drivers in here that really have a lot of speed, but only 6 of them are going to make it on.
Michael Young.
And on cue, as you said, halfway through this session, most of these drivers coming in to switch to reds. Joseph Newgarden, as Davey had mentioned, already back out. Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson on this end of pit lane. Also on the reds, we see Kyle Kirkwood just get that car sat back down. Looks like they're waiting to send him, but he too on those alternate Firestone reds. Look for some quicker laps for these drivers as you hear Kyle Kirkwood leave pit lane. Alex Wolff.
And we talked about Elio Castro Neves going double red in this session for Alexander Rossi in the 7 car for Arrow McLaren. He came in off of the primary blacks and onto the alternate reds. They made a quick front wing adjustment, and he's back out onto the track nearing 3 minutes remaining.
3-time winner at Barber Motorsports Park, obviously one of his favorite tracks. Joseph Newgarden and Nick Yeoman will allow you to welcome Jake Query to the proceedings once they clear you.
Yep, we see Joseph Hart into turn number 5. One of the faster drivers in practice this morning, in fact. Just one driver, Alex Palou, being faster than Newgarden. The PPG colors, they look sharp. Blue and white, the main colors on that car. Jake Query, as Newgarden makes his way into turn 8.
This morning, that blue in Joseph Newgarden's car looked like the sky in Alabama. Now a little bit more overcast as he comes through and has no issue whatsoever. Very, very clean towards the outside of the racetrack, then dips down to the inside through turn number 10. It is Benjamin Peterson, the rookie, that has come now through this 8, 9, 10 area. Renus VK, the latest to come through it. Mark, it's a tricky area of the racetrack. Big elevation change. As a matter of fact, Renus VK trying to put a little heat in those tires. Got a little bit loose at the exit of turn number 9.
Under 2.5 of the session, Newgarden, Grosjean, Dixon, Castro Neves, Kirkwood, Alexander Rossi right now in the Fast 6. The Fast 6 in the session, we should say. Ericsson, VK, Stingray Robb, Eilert, David Malukas, Graham Rahal, and Benjamin Peterson is trying to get in. We see Peterson clear the start-finish line. How about David Malukas, Nick Yeoman?
David Malukas is one of those drivers with some work to do right now. He sits in 12th, accelerates out of turn number 7. He's got those alternate red tires on, Jake, the driver from Chicago, bends it into turn number 8.
HMD Racing is the team for David Malukas. Managed to kind of shave off a little bit of the line through 8 and 9, so went towards the inside. That swept him wide at the exit of turn number 9. No issue at all for David Malukas. Behind him, it's Joseph Newgarden. Then you wait a second behind Joseph Newgarden, and it's the guy that took the win in Long Beach. Beach. Kyle Kirkwood, as everybody works their way here through that 8, 9, 10 area.
Yeah, Davey, I don't know. Kirkwood was fast, got into 5, and off of 5, he woed up a little bit, let the traffic clear, and then got back into it.
And then got back, so I expect him to have a little better lap this time around. He does sit in that 5th position, so if it was to end right now, what do we got? A minute and 15 seconds left, basically. But I think that he's going to be able to lay down a quicker lap. How about this? Stingray Rob, is that double red's going to work out for him and Elio Castroneves? We're right now 5th, and Stingray Rob just got bumped to 7th, but Elio's still in the game, 5th place, trying to do the double red, trying to get max speed out of the car for this whole session.
So, Nick Yeoman, let's pick up that winner in Long Beach, Kyle Kirkwood. This is the lap. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it here. He is currently right now 9th quick, Kyle Kirkwood.
And the sand running out of the hourglass and timing just 40 seconds to go. So Kyle Kirkwood in that pink and white car, nice and smooth out of turn number 6. He accelerates and starts to roar through the gearbox, Jake. A little bit of work to do. Kirkwood sitting 9th on timing and scoring.
2 areas where Kyle Kirkwood in 8, 9, and 10 could run into problems. One is the entrance to it, no issue there. The other is the exit, no issue there either. Went a little bit wide, but Kyle Kirkwood has set sail through turn number 10.
Scott Dixon is going to be among those that is going to take another lap. And Nick Yeoman, he was P2. Now Joseph Newgarden goes to P1. So it's Newgarden, Rossi, Dixon. Now Kirkwood goes to P3. Scott Dixon running 4th, Nick.
Yeah, Kirkwood got it done. Bumped his way into the 3rd spot, but we have hit triple zeros. Checkered flag is out, so we'll watch Scott Dixon. He navigates turn number 7. Behind him, Alexander Rossi. Both of these drivers, Jake, safe for now, but they've got to protect.
Dixon knows going in, as a matter of fact, got a little bit down towards the inside line into turn number 9, that right now he's got to keep a clean lap, but looks good for right now. Same too with Alexander Rossi. The last one we'll watch come through is Romain Grosjean. He works his way through turn number 9. Left side started to step out just a little bit. Got it over that curbing. Romain Grosjean now through turn number 10.
Yeah, he clears turn number 10, Davey, and if he's going to get on his giddy up down that back straightaway.
Yeah, he's got pressure on him right now. He's not in. He's on the outside, 7th place. We're going to cross the timeline right there. We'll see what he does, and he does. Jumps to the P2 behind Joseph Newgarden.
So it's Joseph Newgarden, Romain Grosjean, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott Dixon, and how about Rinus VeeKay? He gets into the next round. On the outside looking in, Marcus Ericsson, Callum Ilott, David Malukas, Graham Rahal, Elio Castroneves, Stingray Robb, and Benjamin Peterson as qualifying continues here at Barber Motorsports Park.
Good morning, sports fans from Indianapolis, Indiana.
This is where heroes become legends, and legends become legendary.
Elio Castroneves joins the 4-time winners club.
This is a special blend of speed, tradition,
You just don't know what Indy means.
and magic. This is the Indy 500, but you've never seen this 500. This is May.
Get your tickets now at IMS.com. Now you can take us with you wherever you go. Download the IndyCar app for live streaming of every on-track session of Indy Next by Firestone and the NTT IndyCar Series. And where we're not on track, hear classic race broadcasts from nearly 70 years of open-wheel racing. Follow us on the TuneIn app or go to IndyCarRadio.com. You'll hear historic broadcasts of the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500, all day long, 24 hours a day. At home, at work, or at the beach, we're only a click away on your phone or tablet.
Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice. For some, that sacrifice includes physical and mental injuries or trauma that will affect their lives forever. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. We need to show them that we truly are a grateful nation. We cannot allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Hey race fans, it's Joseph Newgarden, driver of the number 2 PPG car for Team Penske. Did you miss the premiere of 100 Days of Indy? Catch up on all the action by streaming the first episode now on the CW app.
He has a fast PPG car for Team Penske. Joseph Newgarden, fastest in that session. Grosjean, Rossi, Kirkwood, Dixon, VeeKay, Callum Ilott, 8th quick in that session, Alex Wolf.
Callum 8th quick in this session. You started 11th last year. Is it one spot on the track? Is it cumulative? What did it feel like for the cockpit as far as the little bit of time left on the table was?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know how far off we were from transferring. Obviously, it's probably going to be quite close and a bit of a shame. We're on the back foot, really, from yesterday. We just didn't come in with everything in the right window, and we've been making up for it. The car felt good. It just shows how tight it is. Even when it's good and you feel like you've done a good lap, it's just not enough.
Well, like you said, sort of trying to get things going. We'll wish you the best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Over to Michael Young.
Well, with Helio Castroneves, you did the double stint on Reds. It was a good idea. It looked like you were good for a second. So close, but then again, qualifying is always close, especially here at Barber.
Yeah, no question. Always tough. And we knew we didn't have much of a speed compared to this morning. Obviously, we try everything we can. And at this point, you're just throwing the kitchen sink, right? Let's see what happens. For a moment, it has a little hope, but it is what it is. We got to keep it going from the back now.
So that said, it's been a rough start to the season, especially on these road and street courses. What kind of race car do you have? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I do believe we have a good rhythm. Again, Long Beach was unfortunately a bad start, and but the rhythm of the race was incredible. So we wish we would have been in the race, but at least we stay on it to understand what the car is doing. And the same thing here. We just got to find that 2-3 tenths, which is absolutely incredible here in the NTT IndyCar Series.
We wish you all the best. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thank you.
That's Helio Castroneves, guys.
Alex Wolf.
Stingray Robb for Dale Coyne Racing with Rick Ware Racing and not making the cut here in this first round. What did it feel like your first qualifying session in IndyCar at Barber?
Felt good. We made a big step up from where we were yesterday. I felt like the car was in a better spot. They're just lacking a little bit of pace. We saw David. He didn't have a whole lot there for the guys. Sorry. He seemed to be lacking pace as well, so we got to go back and figure it out. But that's the best the cars felt this weekend. So I'm happy with the progress that we're making. We're going the right direction. We just need to make bigger swings, I guess.
Yeah, we talk so much about sort of the physical preparations you have to make moving up to the IndyCar Series with how close and competitive this series is. What's it like getting ready for these qualifying sessions, pushing it to the limits, the mental fitness as far as that goes?
You know, I felt pretty good. This track is definitely one of the more physical ones that we go to. Mental side, I mean, that's all about preparation with the team and where we're at there. So, you know, I feel good overall. I feel like we're in a good spot. We can race. We're good on used tire runs. So, yeah, we'll see what it's like tomorrow. You know, I'm not happy with that qualifying session, but it's probably the most progress that we've made in a single weekend. So I'm happy to go from here to another permanent road course, the Indy road course. You know, it's just something that I know, and I've been there before, and I know what to expect. I'm an IndyCar driver now, so it's not my first time on a repeat track, so I'm excited about it.
Wish you the best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Joseph Newgarden, Scott Dixon, Romain Grosjean, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Kirkwood, and Ritas V. Kane move on. Hoping to join them, Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herta, Christian Lundgaard, Pato O'Ward, Devlin DeFrancesco, Felix Rosenquist, Marcus Armstrong, Will Power, Simon Pagenaud, Jack Harvey, Connor Daly, Santino Ferrucci, and Augustine Canapino make up Group 2. The Gamebridge machine of Colton Herta, who has had some measure of success here at Barber Motorsports Park. He right now is tackling that Alabama roller coaster. That familiar Gamebridge paint scheme will pop into the view of Nick Yeoman.
If we're being honest, Mark, there aren't a lot of tracks where Colton Herta isn't fast at. Barber is certainly one where he's found some speed. He takes that Gamebridge car to turn number 5, hard on the brakes, no lockup, no brake smoke, nice and smooth for Colton Herta. He's going to start on those primary blacks, Jake, that yellow and black machine, Gamebridge sponsorship for Colton Herta.
So we shall see if he is as smooth in this 8, 9, 10 area, descending in elevation. The answer is an emphatic yes, he is. As a matter of fact, puts it right to the middle of the racetrack. Swerve just a little bit, maybe trying to warm those tires up and get a real grip through turn number 10.
Let's go to pit road, check in with Michael Young.
Well, on the debrief, where were you lacking? Do you know?
Nothing specific. I think we were just a little bit too slow. It was, you know, we had a bit of a struggle this morning in practice. We felt like we took a step in the wrong direction compared to yesterday, and then we sort of reverted back to what we had yesterday, and I think it was a lot better. But when it's as tight as it is in this IndyCar field, you know, you miss a little bit and you're out. So disappointing result, but I still think we can do something from that tomorrow.
Marcus Ericsson joins us on pit lane. Talk about working your way through the field now. You've had such a successful start to 2023. Is it difficult here, or how do you start playing this game for tomorrow?
Yeah, it's not the easiest track to overtake, but I think what will be interesting is to see how the tires behave tomorrow. You know, the alternates we know are quite peaky, and the question mark is if they can do a full stint. If they can do a full stint, it will be a pretty straightforward 2-stopper. If they fall off early, it will be a 3-stopper with big windows, and that should be an entertaining race. So obviously starting mid-pack, I'm hoping for the later, you know, like a alternate tire that's not holding on, and we can try and do something with strategy.
Appreciate the time. All the best tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's Marcus Ericsson, guys.
Back to Colton Herta, Davey. Well, certainly he is fast in a lot of places. I think there's a bit of a trend developing. While he's fast and he's running up front, occasionally there are some momentary lapses that hampers his finishes. I mean, twice now he started here in the top 10 and finished, 22nd or 24th.
That's right. So one thing we noticed with Colton, obviously, we know he has speed, and we know the talent that he has, but sometimes it seems to affect him worse when he's kind of the dominant car at some of these races where he's really fast all weekend. He qualifies up front or on the pole, and then he's leading the race in a dominant fashion. And something seems to happen in the race that he doesn't continue keeping that lead. Rather, we've seen a bad pit stop at Long Beach, and then he just tries too hard and crashes. We've seen him take himself out. The same thing in Nashville. He was dominant in that race and just made a mistake on his own by himself, got into the wall coming over that bridge. So those are the things that he needs to fix and cure to be a champion.
Marcus Armstrong slips underneath the pedestrian bridge, pops into the DOJ query.
Works his way now towards the bottom of that hill, meaning he goes back underneath another one of those bridges, the other side of it, if you will, that goes to the museum. He has Will Power just behind him. You wait just a little bit, and Jack Harvey. We'll take a look at one more car as it works its way off of this area, talking about Felix Rosenqvist, who now sets up for that little kink before turn number 10.
Alex Palou at the 6-minute mark is currently P1. That paint scheme, the green one this weekend, it is occasionally used by Alex Palou. Doesn't matter the color, Nick Yeoman. He's usually a front runner.
Yeah, especially here. This was the place where Alex Palou got his very first victory. It's a racetrack that has seemingly suited him. Nice and smooth out of turn number 6 to the kink of this middle straightaway of turn number 7. Alex Palou looks fast and smooth, Jake, into turn 8.
Alex Palou had a relatively quiet practice session earlier today. Not always a bad thing. This time through turn number 9, took it very far down to the inside of the racetrack, but a good line. Alex Palou now already works his way to the second half of this race course.
Take a peek at Scott McLaughlin slipping in front of you, Jake Query.
Yep, and slipping is exactly what he did as he kind of went over that rumble strip there in turn number 9. The McLaughlin swung it high to the outside, exiting turn number 9, then took the left to that kink of turn 10.
5 minutes, 20 seconds left. That means activity about to pick up on pit road. And, Davey, we do so with Palou, McLaughlin, DeFrancesco, Herta, O'Ward, and Daly right now, the 6 fastest cars.
And we see the first takers on the Reds, DeFrancesco, Connor Daly, and Canapino. They all are the ones struggling towards the back. So they're going to probably do the 2 red stints, 2 sticker reds on both stints, just to try to get the very maximum out of their car to see if it worked. Did it work for Elio and Stingray Rob? Absolutely not. It did not. But they're still starting towards the back of this field. But you have to give it a shot just to see what you could do on 2 sets of sticker reds.
Michael Young.
Down here on pit lane in front of Colton Herta's pit box, they go to the Firestone Reds, and Colton now looking over the data in the cockpit of that car. Not been the best track for Colton Herta. 2 9th place starts and a 10th place start. His best finish is 10th, but he's currently in that P4 position. That's good enough to get to round 2 for now. We'll see how he does. A little turn in that front wing, and we'll await to see Colton Herta back on track. Alex Wolf.
And towards the back half of pit lane, Simon Pagino came in off of the blacks onto the reds. Looked like they were just checking something out ever so quickly on the right rear of the 60 car, but he is just headed out. Felix Rosenqvist has gone off of the blacks onto the reds, and he's about to pull out the number 6 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet.
Newgarden, Dixon, Grosjean, Rossi, Kirkwood, and VK already in. McLaughlin, Palou, DeFrancesco, Herta, O'Ward, and Daly, the fastest so far in this session, trying to move on. Lundgaard, Rosenqvist, Will Power, Marcus Armstrong, Augustine Canapino, Simon Pagino, Jack Harvey, and Santino Ferrucci. And what do you got with about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left, Davey? We're looking at lap time somewhere in the neighborhood of 1:06. You might get 2 good ones out of it.
Yeah, you might get 2 good ones. They need to be in that 105 range to kind of keep up with what the first group did. All 6 cars were in the 105 range. And matter of fact, 7 of the cars in the first round were in the 105 range. So we're going to see time starting to drop right now as we see McLaughlin, Palou, DeFrancesco. Really good run for him this weekend. He's been in the game. We talk about in the Andretti group, and sometimes he's the 4th of the Andretti cars, but right now he's looking strong. We'll see if we can do the reds as Palou streams by the start finish line.
Well, one of the things about these natural terrain road courses, 17 turns over 2 2 miles in length. You've got plenty of room to run, especially when one of your pit boxes is toward the front, Nick Yeoman. Alex Palou has plenty of clean green racetrack in front of him.
And Alex Palou is the first driver after everybody came to pit lane to be on a flyer. He's got the Argentinian driver, Agustin Canapino, in the rear view mirrors. Palou not worried about that, Jake. It is eyes forward. He's got lots of clean green track in that green racetrack. The Spaniard Palou into turn 8.
Green is the theme, right? Because green means go, and that's exactly what Alex Palou is trying to do in this ever-so-green Motorsports Park of Barber. He is working his way very cleanly through turn number 10. Again, it is Canapino just behind him, and then you wait a little bit before Connor Daly comes into view.
Let's pick up Will Power, Nick Yeoman, and that Verizon machine heading your way.
Yeah, Power's done a nice job of finding him space as well. In the Verizon Chevrolet for Team Penske, he is ahead of his teammate Scott McLaughlin. Both of those drivers have their cars absolutely planted to the racetrack. Those Chevrolets accelerate down that middle straightaway, Jake, by the tree line underneath the pedestrian bridge.
Speaking of accelerating, it was Christian Lundgaard that was trying to do exactly that a second ago and had to scream onto the brakes because he came up on Marcus Armstrong, who was yet at speed. Will Power has Scott McLaughlin just behind him, then setting himself a little bit of breathing room is Felix Rosenqvist, and he has the aforementioned Devlin DiFrancesco about 15 car lengths to his rear.
Simon Pagenaud, you heard Elio Castroneves. That team is looking for race pace, looking for speed. Nick Yeoman, will see if Simon Pagenaud is able to find any speed in the last 90 seconds of the session.
Got a lot of work to do, Mark. I can see the top 12 on the scoring pylon. Simon not being shown, so he's got to wring a lot of speed out of that Sirius XM car. Out of turn number 6, top of that car, the cockpit is pink, the side pods are black. It's a good-looking race car, Jake, but Simon's got to find some speed out of it.
You heard his teammate Elio Castroneves say they need more speed, and Pagenaud tries to find it through turn number 9. Left side rubber goes along those rumble strips at the exit of turn number 9. Then it's Armstrong. You wait just a little bit. Then Jack Harvey. No issues for any in that trio.
Below, McLaughlin, DiFrancesco, Herta, Augustine Canapino up to 5th, Pato Award 6th. The Cambridge machine, Colton Herta, exits turn number 5.
Herta, nice and smooth, really drove it in deep, but the car stuck to the racetrack. And that Cambridge machine, the Honda for Colton Herta, quickly, Jake, already setting up for turn number 8. Herta just got bumped on the outside.
Nick, the first that we had eyes on in this session, Colton Herta works his way now off turn number 9. Not an issue. Doesn't look as fast as he might have been at the outset on this set. We shall see when the time comes in for Colton Herta.
Yeah, we're looking at Jack Harvey. He just crossed the start-finish line. Another car we're thinking is going to be a contender this weekend. Pato Award. Nick Yeoman, that was a pretty good lap. He just crossed the timing line. He is currently second quick. We'll watch him and see if that holds up.
Yeah, Pato Award, the winner here a year ago, and he got it done down in Charlotte's Web, passing Renus VK. And Pato Award is actually already out of the throttle. That's how good that lap was. So let's pick up the car that just zoomed right past. That's Will Power. Jake, he is on the bubble. Power in that Verizon Chevrolet sits 6th. We've hit triple zeros. Will Power's going to get one more chance to move on to the second round.
So one would assume that Will Power knows that the checkered flag has fallen on this session, but he maintains the fast lap, and Will Power does so, getting into the throttle, exiting turn number 9. Mark, here comes Will Power.
And it's Devlin DiFrancesco and then Colton Herta, Davey. Those are the guys we're keeping an eye on here.
Right now, Colton Herta, I'm keeping an eye. He really looked like he had a good run down through Charlotte's Web. It seemed fast right there. They got to watch out right now. I see Pato Award is really kind of holding some. Matter of fact, he holds up somebody big time down right before the start-finish line. So that's not good when you're holding. You may get penalized for that.
So we'll see as they clear the timing and scoring loop as we speak. And car 11 called for qualifying interference. That is Marcus Armstrong, Alex Palou, Pato Award, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, Felix Rosenqvist, Will Power. For now, the top 6, Davey. Armstrong, Herta, Pagenaud, DiFrancesco, Daly, Canapino, Harvey, and Ferrucci. Those guys for now are not advancing.
Yeah, all of a sudden we've seen Colton Herta get shot from 8th to 7th because of the interference by Marcus Armstrong. But I looked like Pato Ward may have held somebody up too, as we're watching right now. That's right, and then held up. That's Lundgaard that he held up, who actually made it in that 4th position. But early on, he held him up, and he has to pay for it later.
So we think it's Palou, Award, McLaughlin, Lundgaard, Rosenqvist, and Power who will move on as qualifying continues here at Barber Motorsports Park.
If you're the kind of person that likes to drive a lot and your car is a little older and out of the normal warranty, keep listening. What's going on underneath the hood of your car? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of expensive repair bills. Now, for a couple of dollars a day, you can get an extended protection plan for your car. You love your car, so why not give it a little extra care and make sure if something goes wrong, your bank account is safe. Literally, for a couple of dollars a day, you can give yourself peace of mind that you've purchased a top-tier vehicle repair coverage plan. Call the Auto Protection Network right now and ask how you could save an additional $500 on your policy.
800-958-6089. 800-958-6089. 800-958-6089. That's 800-958-6089.
Now you can take us with you wherever you go. Download the IndyCar app for live streaming of every on-track session of Indy Next by Firestone and the NTT IndyCar Series. And after the race, follow and download our complete radio broadcast wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or go to IndyCarRadio.com.
Let's go, man. I love IndyCar racing.
At home, at work, or at the lake. We're only a click away on your phone or tablet.
I'm Pato O'Ward. Now back to live coverage of the NTT IndyCar Series qualifying on IndyCar Radio.
And he's happy. One of the drivers moving on below Award, McLaughlin, Lundgaard, Felix Rosenqvist, and Will Power, joining Newgarden, Dixon, Roman Grosjean, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Kirkwood, and Rinus VeeKay. The first episode of 100 Days to Indy available now on the CW app. Catch up on all the action from episode 1 and mark your calendars for episode 2, Thursday, May 5th on the CW. The IndyCar app, also powered by NTT Data, now available for free to fans worldwide. Climb on board with in-car cameras. Follow along with live timing and scoring and listen to the radio broadcast. Download the app today in the App Store or on Google Play. So we have set the drivers that will move on, Davey, and an interesting mix. A couple of guys in bad need of a good weekend, I think. Obviously, Christian Lundgaard is one of those for that whole Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan race team, and also happy to see Felix Rosenqvist find a little pace.
Yeah, it found a little pace. I think all three, those McLaren cars have made it in. That's all obviously solid. All the Ganassi, well, no, not all Ganassi car. Marcus Armstrong got penalized, that number 11 car, for holding somebody up out there. I can't remember. I think it was Lundgaard, so didn't make it. But then we got the Penske guys, Will Power barely making it in that 6th position in this second round. So it's going to be exciting to see what his teammates and him could do as well.
Armstrong was around the 8th position in that session, Davey.
He was 7th, yeah.
They moved him down to 13th.
Yeah, so he did miss it. So he was 7th, moves down to 13th. And I don't know how, they must just take so much time away. I'm not sure how that works. But anyways, finds himself towards the back of this field.
So, again, it's Newgarden, Dixon, Grosjean, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Kirkwood, Rinus VeeKay, Alex Below, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, Pato O'Ward, Felix Rosenqvist, and Will Power. This is one of those drivers that seems to take to this place famously, Davey, is Pato O'Ward. I mean, fastest race, also fastest qualifying lap and fastest race lap. All those marks belong to Pato O'Ward.
Yeah, he did a great job. Wasn't that fun to watch? I mean, he had to earn it, too. He had to make some passes out there last year. Charlotte's Web is where he was able to get it done. And so it was a lot of fun watching him, and obviously got the job done. And he does like this place. He's in the game. He know he's in the top 12. Now can he get in the top 6?
Well, I mean, it's a big bump, too, for Ed Carpenter Racing. Rinus VeeKay, another guy that has taken to this place famously, Davey. I mean, a podium finisher here a year ago, and has a pole here at Barber Motorsports Park. And we talked about it earlier. I mean, Joseph's win here with Ed Carpenter Racing a few years ago.
His first win here, too, right?
Yeah. So obviously this is a place that Ed Carpenter is able to set up race cars pretty well for.
Yeah, it seems to be right now. And what a great run. I mean, a little surprised I didn't have him marked down. That's Rinus VeeKay, that Ed Carpenter car, getting in that fast 12. But he obviously made it. Good on him. Connor Daly's still not bad. I mean, he ran 10th in that round. He missed it by a few, but that's better than he has been. He beat out drivers like Jack Harvey, Marcus Armstrong, Ferrucci. So, yeah.
Michael Young.
Yeah, Colton Herter will start on the outside of row number 4. Good news, it's your best start, but I know that doesn't mean a hill of beans because you wanted to make it to that next round. Talk us about this qualification run, the car, and how potentially this track changed for you.
I wish we were starting on the outside of row 4.
Where are you at?
That's the first round, so we're going to be 14th or 13th.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is 14th. I tried.
Yeah, good effort. But we got 2 sets of new reds, which is nice. But it's frustrating. We shouldn't be getting knocked out in round 1. I think we had the speed in practice, but yeah, I don't know if I hooked together the cleanest of laps. But we'll see. We'll go through the data. I felt good up until this point, so that's encouraging for the race at least. But a lot of stuff still to happen.
So talk about the tires. You talked about the car. It's transitioning through this day. Did the cool temperatures throw the car off? What changed for you?
I mean, yeah, temperature usually changes a little bit, but it's still maybe within 5 to 10 degrees of what we ran this morning, so it's not too big of a difference. But now I will. I guess we'll be watching the rest of the qualifying, which is the worst position to be in. This stuff sucks when you have to watch IndyCars go around the track.
Well, we wish you all the best tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Colton Herta will start on the outside of row number 14.
Alex Wolf.
With Simon Pagano. And Simon, as you've had a chance to debrief with the team, is there sort of anything in that session that the car was lacking, at least in qualifying trim?
Honestly, man, it feels good. The car feels good. We just don't have enough rhythm, so ours felt pretty good all weekend, but we just don't seem to progress as much as some guys like Palou and these guys. So, I felt like I gave it my maximum in quali, and it's just super tight, and we didn't quite transfer. But honestly, can't really be disappointed when you feel like you've given your 100%.
Hey, talk about that, given the 100%, the car feeling good in the qualifying trim. You had that great pace yesterday in practice. What do you think's the outlook with the 60 car for tomorrow's Grand Prix?
Well, I think race pace has always been my thing. The team is really understanding how to utilize me the best. So, it's a track that I really love. The way that the race is here has been really fun for me. So, I think we can get back in the top 10 tomorrow. That's it for today.
Well, I appreciate your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I may be so bold, Davey Hamilton, that is a driver that is understandably confident in his ability, but right now doesn't sound overly confident in his race car.
Yeah, and it is. He still is totally confident. He knows he can drive a race car. He knows he can be competitive. And he knows he can win, and that's what he wants to do. Come from Roger Penske and Meyer Shank. They started off good, had a lot of opportunity, and they just haven't had that speed this year that they hope to have and that they really need to be, contending for wins. And Elio and him most of the time are right on top of each other as far as time, so that tells you the cars are pretty close. It's just they're missing that small little bit. Like Simon said, the car feels good, and I've been there. When the car feels good and you feel you put 100%, but then you look at the timing scoring and you're not up there, that's still disappointing.
I think the expectation level, understandably so, was extremely high when this pairing was first announced between Simon Pagano and Elio Castroneves, and these two cars full-time with Meyer Shank Racing, and it just hasn't produced the desired results. I understand the team has an Indy 500 win, and it's a historic one, but I think the entire body of work is not nearly what they had hoped for.
Yeah, without a question. I think on all fronts, I think from the drivers, the team, everybody involved thought much higher expectations, and they all still want that. It's just they need to figure out how to find that, and what rock is that under? Where's it hiding? Where's that extra speed hiding to where this team could to kind of regroup? And they had, I continue to say, they have Andretti Technologies as far as engineering and technical support, but there's just something missing with these guys.
10-minute session. This is round number 3 before we get to the Firestone Fast 6. And then it's Joseph Newgarden, Scott Dixon, Romain Grosjean, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Kirkwood, and Rinus VeeKay. They're joined by Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, Pato O'Ward, Felix Rosenqvist, and Will Power. While everyone left pit road at the same time, they are starting to play nice and trying to give themselves a little bit of room, Davey Hamilton, and there's plenty of room to roam here at this course, a little over 2 miles and 17 turns.
As we see them all packed up together going down through turns 8 and 9, some tire smoke off one of the cars, all trying to get spread out there, but they're all clogged up right now. And now they're all in the black. I think all of them at this point, all 12 cars are going to be on the black tire just to get some heat back in these cars. He's going to come in, put another set of reds on, more than likely the sticker set of reds. But boy, they're really just too close for comfort right now as far as, people. No matter of fact, Will Power is really being held up by VeeKay at this point.
Kyle Kirkwood Kirkwood, Alex Palou among the first two to exit pit road, Nick Yeoman, so they have plenty of room to roam.
Yeah, always easy for the cars at the head of pit lane. You just pull off, accelerate, and get after it. But you're right. I think Rinus VeeKay is not going to have a lot of friends with the way he exited pit lane, was blowing past guys left and right. As for some of those front runners, Jake, Kirkwood's flying to you. Here comes Alex Palou as well into turn number 8.
Yeah, good speed being shown already by Kyle Kirkwood, and then Palou, who bumps just a little bit into that exit. Again, it's a right-hander that's turn 8, and then you go down a long kink that is turn number 9. There's a rumble strip there where if you are too early going into that turn, you can actually pick up an extra piece of that curbing that was not there a year ago. But so far, nobody is overly surprised by it. Taking a look one more time at that trio that was interesting to begin. Scott McLaughlin with Rinus VeeKay, the middle of it, Will Power the third. VeeKay seemed to not really know whether they were going to go at speed or lay back last time by, but now everybody starts to separate just a little bit.
The Hy-Vee machine of Christian Lundgaard, Jake, he scoots in front of the museum.
Yeah, and scoots is an interesting choice of words, Mark, not to say that he wasn't doing that, because he was when you said it, and then all of a sudden it was like he heard you and thought, well, I'm going to correct that, because he slowed up just a little bit. So he's one that looks like he's trying to create that separation just a little bit. He has worked his way now through turn number 10, but for whatever reason, really slowed it down when he got to the bottom of the hill here of turn number 9.
Scott Dixon is clearing turn number 5. Joseph Newgarden will do the same soon.
Dixon already on the accelerator through turn 6. We'll watch Joseph Newgarden navigate. He yanks on that steering wheel to get that car to corner through turns 5 and 6. Then you want to straighten it out as smooth as possible. Newgarden powered his way towards turn number 8, Jake.
Two guys that just look smooth, don't they, Nick? I mean, Scott Dixon went through without any issue whatsoever. The precision displayed by that PPG machine of Joseph Newgarden as well. They worked their way through turn number 9. Then it's Romain Grosjean. You wait just a little bit, and then Pato O'Ward, last of this group to come through. Scott McLaughlin, who now sets sail for turn number 10.
Right now it's Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, Kyle Kirkwood, Romain Grosjean, Christian Lundgaard. We see Joseph Newgarden pop into the top 6. O'Ward, McLaughlin, Rosenquist, Rossi, Will Power, and Rinus VeeKay through 12. With 7 minutes remaining in the session, Kyle Kirkwood back to turn 5.
Yeah, the brake rotors lit up on the right front for Kyle Kirkwood. No smoke, which is good. Doesn't scrub off much speed, but certainly it's a sight to behold to see the bright orange of those brake rotors. Pink and white, the colors for Kirkwood as he heads to turn 8.
There is a beautiful water fountain, two-tiered as a matter of fact, that is right there in between turns 8 and 9. Kyle Kirkwood, if he wants to look to his right, could have seen it when he exits turn number 9, but instead he decides to go for that speed of turn 10. Good decision. Alex Palou does the same. Scott Dixon now works his way. All three of them exact same line as they set sail down the straightaway off turn number 9.
Felix Rosenquist trying to get into the Firestone Fast 6, Nick.
Yep, Rosenquist looks out that car, sees the giant spider in Charlotte's Web of turns 5 and 6. Before you know it, though, it's a 180-degree turn. He's back on the accelerator. Rosenquist, Jake, already into turn 8.
183, darn near the number of feet that he's going to descend as he goes down through 8, 9, and 10. Rosenquist without any issue, though. Car might have gotten just a little bit loose to the outside. Behind him, he sees Alexander Rossi suddenly fading in the rearview mirror because Rossi wanted to set up a little bit of separation, but then got on his giddy-up because Christian Lundgaard's just behind him.
Dixon, Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Newgarden, Kirkwood, and Pato O'Ward with under 6 minutes to go in the session. Romain Grosjean is currently 8th quick. Maybe next time by he'll head to pit road, but for now, he's full song headed to Nick Yeoman.
Yeah, seeing some differing strategies. Scott Dixon has come to pit lane. Pato O'Ward has come to pit lane, but Grosjean has stayed out of the racetrack. He is on those primary black tires. He accelerates out of turn number 7, puts that car right in the center of the racetrack, Jake. Here comes Grosjean.
Romain Grosjean, again, that blue and kind of an aqua green paint scheme this week for Romain Grosjean as he works his way through turn number 9 and 10. No issue whatsoever. Down to pit road to Michael Young.
Yeah, Pato O'Ward will get 2 turns into that front wing as he gets brand new Firestone Firehawks. He goes on those alternate red tires. He'll wait to get back out on track. Looks like the crew's getting ready to fire him up right now. And again, my apologies to the Colton Herta fans. He'll start on the outside of road number 7. Alex Wolf, math, never my strong suit. To you.
Well, you're coming to the wrong guy there because at Ball State I relied heavily on curves to make it through math. But on my end of the pit lane, a car co-owned by a Ball State grad, David Leverman, the Rahal Leverman Lanigan Racing, number 45 Hy-Vee Honda black and red machine for Christian Lundgaard came in. They went on to the sticker reds. They made about a 2.5 turn. It looked like front wing adjustment. Also in the Arrow McLaren pit, the Chevrolet for Alexander Rossi on the sticker reds. They've also made an adjustment to the front wing. So things getting busy as Felix Rosenquist ready to come in for McLaren as well.
4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this session, and it's Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, Alex Palou, Joseph Newgarden, Roman Grosjean, and Kyle Kirkwood. They are the fastest six for now. Award, Power, Rosenquist, Ritas VK, Lundgaard, and Alexander Rossi going to try to get into the Firestone Fast Six by the conclusion of this session. Back to pit road, Michael Young.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden just peeled out of pit lane. He's got those alternate Firestone reds on his car right now. Roman Grosjean sits. There goes Pato O'Ward, so we'll see what kind of laps he can turn. His teammate Alexander Rossi out as well. Roman Grosjean waiting for his cue to go, and there he goes. The number 28 Delaware Life Honda for Roman Grosjean back to qualify.
Go time, Davey, with 3:30 left.
It's go time right now. Scott Dixon on top. He did run the used set of red tires. Not a time that he could stand on, though. 106.3. That would not. It's not going to get him in that top six. So he as well came in. He's warming up as we speak. A brand new sticker set of red tires going down into Jake's area.
And again, Ritas VK, the last one to exit pit road, and he does so with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Unlike the start of this session, now that we've cleared the halfway point, it appears as though everyone playing a little nicer, Davey, in terms of giving each other space.
Yeah, right now 12 cars on track, which has been basically as many as both groups are right now. Earlier they didn't get. We see a slow car going up the hill right now, extremely slow. I don't know if it looks like a Kirkwood car. Not sure where he is. Coming up out of turn 3
right out the window.
Okay, yep, he's starting to go right now. So guys, because there's going to be cars catching up to him pretty soon if he doesn't.
So Alex Palou, we'll see if he's able to catch up to Nick Yeoman. He clears turn 4.
Yeah, we see Alex Palou. We're getting reports that Kirkwood might have actually spun on course, so sure he'll be trying to clean up those tires. He's not going to be a factor for Alex Palou, though, as Palou about halfway down this third straightaway, Jake, at Barber Motorsports Park. Alex Palou, the Spaniard, in turn 3.
Kirkwood just cleared this area, so if he had issue, he must have gotten it straightened out, as you had mentioned, Nick. Then it's Palou, no issue whatsoever. As a matter of fact, that car looked very quick, exiting turn number 9, getting towards the outside, setting up for that left-handed kink. That's turn 10. Last one we'll watch through this area, that of the PNC Bank machine of Scott Dixon. Mark, he also looks very clean exiting turn number 9.
Davey, you've seen the replay.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened to Kirkwood, he came out on brand new sticker red tires, comes through turn 2. It got on the throttle just a little bit quick, did a 360, went off course a little bit, sprayed some grass and dirt onto the racetrack. He was able to continue on, but some of these other cars coming down through there now are going to have to deal with a little bit of a debris on the track as they come through turn 2.
It's been a pretty good weekend all in all for the 45 Hy-Vee machine of Christian Lundgaard, Nick Yeoman. He's trying to get into the Firestone Fast Six as he clears the Alabama roller coaster.
Yeah, boy, what a momentum boost this would be for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. The only bullet in the chamber left for that team is Jack Harvey and Graham Rahal are going to have to watch to see if Christian Lundgaard in this Hy-Vee machine can punch his way into the Firestone Fast Six. Red and black alternate tires match that paint scheme nice and smooth, Jake. Down the straightaway, Lundgaard sets up for the right-hander.
And that paint scheme is a very cool one. It's a red tub with black nose and black on the side of it. That Hy-Vee machine, Christian Lundgaard, he looks very, very good. Works his way now left-hander through turn number 10.
Dixon, VK, McLaughlin, Palou, Newgarden, Grosjean. The top 6 is Roman Grosjean. Then Scott McLaughlin head to Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, McLaughlin is going to get there right now. He'll stay off the brown and white curbing, nice and smooth, quick on the accelerator, chasing after Roman Grosjean. McLaughlin halfway down the straightaway, about 20 car lengths ahead of his teammate Will Power in that Verizon Chevrolet.
Grosjean leaves the bottom of this area. Then Scott McLaughlin comes into it, down to the bottom, and about midway through it now is Will Power. Power, that rear end stepped out just a little bit at the apex of turn 9, same area where the same happened for Pato O'Ward last time by. Mark, that might mean that they are getting into that throttle early through turn number 9.
Grosjean, O'Ward, Palou, Lundgaard, Newgarden, and Dixon, the top 6. Can Dixon improve upon that speed, Nick Yeoman?
Well, he's on the bubble, so improving would help quite a bit in that PNC Bank machine. Dixon hustles that car out of turn number 6. He is on the accelerator. Looks nice and fast down that back straightaway. He's headed to you, Jake, in the turn number 8.
This is an area of the racetrack where it almost feels like you might not be able to gain a lot of speed, but you can certainly lose it with a hiccup. No hiccup at all, though, for Scott Dixon, trying to find that speed at the end of this session, Mark.
Power, Rosenquist, and VK are the guys that still have a shot at this thing, Davey, and they are chasing Grosjean, Award, Palou, Lundgaard, Newgarden, and Dixon.
They sure are. Will Power, we seen him go down as he went off track in turn 5. Yeah, we just seen actually VK as well, off track as well. Both had one more shot to really give it all they had, but those two are definitely not going to be advancing into the final 6.
And Will Power was looking to get into the Fast 6 because he was running 10th at the time.
Yeah, no, he definitely had an opportunity. I seen him go down in turn 1. He laid it down in there, and I thought, wow, that actually was a really good lap through there. As McLaughlin comes across the start-finish line right now and finds himself, as he does, in
P3.
third spot.
Yes. Yeah. So an impressive run for Scott McLaughlin. And so here's the way it looks as we get ready for the Fast 6. It's Romain Grosjean, Pato Award, Scott McLaughlin, Alex Palou, Lundgaard, and Dixon. We're waiting on what? Rosenquist, VK, they still have to clear the timing line.
Yeah, I think, or are they in now?
It looks like everybody's in now.
I think they're in now,
Yeah, they have cleared it.
Yeah,
So, surprisingly, Joseph Newgarden does not move on. He's 7th quick in the session. So, again, it's Grosjean, Award, McLaughlin, Palou, Christian Lundgaard, and Scott Dixon, the top 6. Newgarden, Rosenquist, VK, Rossi, Power, and Kirkwood just missed. And Davey, that spin might have caused a couple of guys some difficulty by Will Power.
Yeah, well, that one. Well, and I think, Kyle Kirkwood, who finds himself 12th, when he did that spin on the new tires, he actually shot a lot of grass and dirt out on the racetrack in turn 2 at a really critical spot to where he could lose grip. And so the cars behind him coming through there, that teeny bit of lost traction could have cost him to get in that top 6.
Boy, Scott McLaughlin used every inch of this racetrack on his run.
Yeah, he did.
Goodness, curbing. You name it.
Name it, right? As we're right now seeing Arenas VK.
Yeah, he went off.
Down turn 2, he went off, and showing a little on-car there. Kept it going, stayed up on that grass, but took any chances. I mean, he finds himself 9th. I mean, he's another one along with Power that actually had opportunity to transfer in that top 6, but both made mistakes.
Yep, Firestone Fast 6 when we come back to Barber Motorsports Park.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the GMR Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying and the Firestone Fast 6 shootout. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day. And all roads lead to the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge. This is where heroes become legends and legends become legendary. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
Now you can take us with you wherever you go. Download the IndyCar app for live streaming of every on-track session of Indy Next by Firestone and the NTT IndyCar Series. And in between race weekends, purchase your copy of classic Indy 500 race broadcasts. Go to IMS.com and click on the History tab for nearly 70 years of historical race broadcasts from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's your chance to own a piece of history and relive your favorite race moments. At home, at work, or at the park, we're only a click away on your phone or tablet.
How is your car payment treating you? What if I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-494-8148. 800-494-8148. 800-494-8148. That's 800-494-8148.
Not all applicants qualify for a loan or rate savings. Actual offer terms, including APR, are determined at the time of your application based on creditworthiness, value of the vehicle, loan term, and other factors.
I'm driver Alex Palou. Now back to live coverage of NTT IndyCar Series qualifying on IndyCar Radio.
Alex Wolf back with you on pit lane during qualifying here at Barber Motorsports Park with Felix Rosenqvist. And Felix, such a tight field out there. What was that around at 12 from your perspective?
Yeah, it's tight for sure. I don't know. We didn't really have the same speed in Q2 as Q1. Don't really know why. Maybe the tire prep wasn't right or something, but I didn't really feel like I had, the lap in me. I mean, I had a small mistake, but I don't think it would have mattered. But yeah, super tight field. Always here at Barber. It's kind of a weird track to get it right here. We started off on a pretty bad spot yesterday, so I'm pretty happy where we ended up in the top 8. So, but still, we want to be in the Fast 6. We've been kind of like almost made it in every race so far, Fast 6, so a bit bummed about that, but it's a good place to start for us.
As we look ahead to the race tomorrow, what do you think about the outlook for the 6th car?
I mean, I think it could be a fuel save. It's normally that's normally what it is. We don't know how long the red's going to last, but I feel pretty good. So we'll see. If it's a fuel save, I think it's a strength of us. We normally excel on that, so it could play to our advantage. But yeah, you never know.
Let you debrief with the crew. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you, man.
Over to Michael Young.
Yeah, with Kyle Kirkwood, suffice it to say that spin cost you any opportunity of getting into the Firestone Fast 6. What happened when you went back on track?
Just a dumb mistake, to be honest. I was told that Reynes was behind me in the 21. I didn't know if that meant on track or off track, so I felt the need to kind of push out of the pits to make sure I didn't impede his lap if he was already on one. And I just spun doing so, and we got floor damage from it, so that definitely held us out because we're right there with Roman in the first group. So disappointing because we could have got the Fast 6, but that small little stupid mistake cost us doing so. But one thing that's positive to take from it is we were kind of outside the top 12 before, and now we're fighting to be in the Fast 6, and going for poles just between the 2 practices. So we made a good rebound. The team has done an awesome job getting us to this point. Roman's gonna have a good shot at pole here, I know it. And we're really fast on the primary tires. We were one of the quickest there in qualifying both times. We're on the primaries, and we pretty long on tires. So even though we didn't get into the Fast 6, it was still a very positive session for us.
All that said, you talk about these primary tires. What kind of race car do you have for tomorrow?
Fast one. I don't know if you wanting me to tell you the balance and everything, but ultimately it's a fast car, and we're good on the primaries, and we're good on the alternates too, as that was just showed there, and I think Roman's going to show for us right now. But Andretti always produces fast race cars. We've been maybe a little bit behind compared to the street courses that we've had this year, but we bounced right back, and we're right back in the hunt once again.
So that said, can you do it in 2 stops now that you're good on the alternative tires?
Not going to give you away our secret.
All right, that's fair enough. That's why you win your first race in Long Beach. Well done.
Thank you.
That's Kyle Kirkwood. He'll start on the outside of row number 6. Alex Wolf.
And Reynes VK ending up 9th in that session. And boy, Reynes, you were pushing it to limit and maybe a little bit past it. What was that around like from your perspective?
It was. It got loose there, but you got to try something. I already got my good lap in, right? I got the peak of the tire there, and we did an extra lap, a 3rd lap that we had the fuel for. We didn't plan on it, but we had the time, we had the fuel. Why not? I just gave it all there. I thought I had a little bit left the previous lap, so I just tried to give it all, and it was a bit too much. So, tried to give it a shot, didn't work.
I got to say, it's some impressive car control keeping between the guardrail and the gravel trap there as you went around. Certainly impressed all of us. Now, of course, you've always raced well here, really, no matter what you've driven in the pole here last year, ended up on the podium. What do you think now for this Ed Carpenter Racing team looking ahead to the Grand Prix tomorrow afternoon?
We got a fast car. I think our race pace has been really good all 3 races this season. We've not had the results. We've just had a bunch of bad luck. Couldn't really put it together in qualifying anytime. But now we did. P9 feels like a pole for me now. This morning I was 20th while pushing hard. We were just off. So were we yesterday, and we made a good jump now. So I'm proud of the team. The guys worked super hard. So, good job by them. And, I just had to drive the car.
Great weekend so far. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Was watching down below Davey Hamilton, some of the interaction with some folks in the Joseph Newgarden pit box, and 7th quick in that session, not moving on to the Fast 6. And Joseph doesn't seem to be very happy.
Well, when I seen the gloves go flying, I'm pretty sure. As soon as he took them off, he tossed the gloves and just, disappointed. We haven't been able to talk to him, but don't know if it was him, the car, if he made a mistake or what the situation was. But obviously, this team, they want to be in the Fast Six every time, and him missing it by one is obviously disappointing.
Well, I think they also understand, what all is involved in the championship chase, Davey, and not only is certainly every finishing position important, but boy, especially here, those starting positions are ultra important.
Yeah, and knowing how to win here. Joseph's first win was here. He knows he has a car that could win. And you got to remember how close these times are. I mean, it's tenths of a second that you go a little faster, whether you're in or you're out of this. And he so close, but just didn't make it. Knows the farther you start back, the harder it is to win.
One thing about this is these drivers engage in the debrief, and we have the advantage of a multi-string monitor, and we also get a look at replays and whatnot. The thing that's most challenging about this track, you hear drivers talk a lot about balance, and I think to that end, it seems like that, in a lot of racetracks we go to, there is one place that seems to cause every driver an issue. But here, it's a different driver in a different place.
A different driver, different place. We've seen really to go off in a lot of different areas, and that, it's getting that most. Just like Arena said, he goes, you know what? That wasn't I already got the best out of the tires, but I thought I gave some up down turn one, so I was going to just go for it. And what happens? He the car steps out, he gets loose. So he actually did get the best out of that car, I think, those first few laps. And when you go over it, as long as you don't hit anything, it's okay. But he had nothing to lose because he wasn't there, and he was trying to get in that top six. So in a situation like that. Now, Will Power, for example, I think he was going to be solidly in the top six with the run. When I watched him go down through that area, and then he just made the big mistake at Charlotte's Web, just got in there a little bit too hot and went off course.
So we're just seconds away from the green flag. It's Scott Dixon, Romain Grosjean, Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, and Pot O Award. Let's hear from Will Power, Michael Young.
Yeah, he'll start on the inside of row number 6. Will, that off at the very end looked like he had a good lap going. Kyle Kirkwood had an off. Did that bring some debris on the track? Did that affect your qualifying at all?
Is he off in turn 1?
Turn 4, he's coming back. Yeah.
4, I don't know. I was down. I was never going to do anything with that because I got in the compression the steering just unwound itself from the finish of that lap, so that ruined the first lap, and obviously started the second lap way down. But we've been struggling with straight line speed all weekend. Got to decide whether we change an engine or not, because it's the end of the mile. You got to decide, do you want to, it's going to affect you down the road. There's obviously a lot of people who change engines, and it helps them here, but does it cost you down the road?
So what is your vote? Would you like to have a new engine, or do you think you get through this race?
I've got to discuss, see what that would do. I don't even know if I have the option, but I'm discuss with the team, where does that hurt us down the road?
You're the reigning champion. You have all kinds of options.
Not with engines.
Okay, best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, Will Power will start on the inside of row 6.
Yeah, very matter of fact about the situation is the defending series champion, Will Power. 6-minute session underway, the Firestone Fast 6. The first taker is none other than Alex Palou. Nick Yeoman.
A pair of Ganassi drivers, Palou and Dixon, and then one representative each from Andretti Autosport, Arrow McLaren, Penske, and Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan. Boy, Palou got awful close to the grass at the exit of turn number 5. His teammate Scott Dixon will keep it a little more neat and tidy through that corner. But Jake, it is Alex Palou, the first one on a flyer into turn 8.
I've got deja vu because it seems like last session Alex Palou was the first one really to get up to speed at the outset of it. He has worked his way already now into turn number 10. Sun starting to peek out. It gets a glimpse of Scott Dixon and as well Romain Grosjean, the first 3 to come through this 8, 9, 10 combo.
And because this is a 6-minute session, Davey, and as we've mentioned, you're talking about laps in the 65 to 66 second range, and we already see some teams with those reds laid out.
Yeah, and they really have no choice. They started with the one set of reds, and now they have another set that they're going to put on. So most of these cars, I think, if not all of them, went out with the red sidewall softer tires, probably from round 1, and then round 2's tires are going to be put on here momentarily.
Palou and Dixon among the first to clear the line, and they do so the third and fourth quick. Now that others have done so, we see them again make their way through 3 and 4. Cars coming onto pit road as we speak, but Pato O'Ward among those deciding to stay out and turn another lap, we would think. Also, Christian Lundgaard decides to stay out on the course. So let's start first by picking up Pato O'Ward.
Pair of second-place finishes to start the season for Pato O'Ward. He was a bit of a pinball, to say the least, at Long Beach. Finished 17th, so looking for a bounce back. He'll stay on the racetrack on those alternate reds. That orange and white Chevrolet for McLaren, heading Jake Hewitt-Query your way into turn number 8.
It is amazing each time I glance across from the museum view perspective here and watch. Whoa, I watch Pato O'Ward get a little bit loose off turn number 9. Mark, I was just about to say, this track is just an absolutely perfection of beauty, and everybody wants a perfect lap. Pato O'Ward got a little bit hairy there in the middle of turn number 9.
And this is the kind of place, too, Davey. Well, you don't see a lot of spotters sometimes on these road and street circuits, but there are places for spotters to be a great help here.
I think one is turn 1. Coming out of the pits, it really gets, it's so fast on track going through turn 1 into turn 2, and I see a lot of spotters up in that area just to help for pit stops, just to help merge in with that high-speed traffic. As we see, I think the first one on the second set of red tires is Romain Grosjean. Second one right behind him, Scott Dixon, heading out to try to lay one down.
Update from pit road with Michael Young.
Yeah, and those reds on Romain Grosjean's car are scuffed. I believe so, too, on Scott Dixon's car. Making my way down to Alex Palou to see what that team's doing. But everybody on scuffed reds, one last mad dash to try to get the pole here at Barber.
Yeah, we see O'Ward making his way off of pit road, and he will be at speed before long. So where it stands right now is Grosjean, O'Ward, Lundgaard, Palou, Scott McLaughlin, and Scott Dixon. Davey, those are your fast 6.
Fast 6 right now. This could change it up right now. They obviously have fairly decent times. They're not into the 105s. Not expecting them to, because the red tires do fall off. We seen them in that 55-second bracket, as you mentioned before. Right now, they're close. They're 1:66 flat by Grosjean. We'll see if he can get just a little bit more out of it, but we won't see times as fast in this last session as we did in the second one.
We are approaching the 2-minute mark of this Firestone Fast 6, and again, it's Grosjean, Pato O'Ward, Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, and Scott Dixon. Those are your fast 6 cars right now as they make their way around this 2.3-mile course before we get set to go racing tomorrow. A final 30-minute warm-up session tomorrow. We hope you'll join us for that. Crossing the start-finish line is Romain Grosjean, and while he doesn't always have the best of results at the start of this season, Nick Yeoman, he was awfully happy that his team got a win and he got a podium at Long Beach.
I think it says a lot about the character of Romain Grosjean, watching how he celebrated the success of Kyle Kirkwood, not only in winning pole, but in his first career win. We know how badly, Jake, Romain Grosjean wants to win. We saw it spill over at St. Pete, but he will settle for getting his 3rd career pole if he can keep that 28 car at the top of timing and scoring.
Romain Grosjean bobbled just a little bit off turn number 8. That rear end, boy, it really started to step out and look loose off turn number 9. Grosjean to the outside lefty, that kink that's turn number 10. Romain Grosjean set sail.
Davey, we spent a lot of time talking about Charlotte Webb. We talk about 1, 2, and 3 in that area that's so fast around Jake leading to that back straight. Tell us a little more about the intricacies of that far end of the racetrack, 13 through 17.
Yeah, well, I think it's some of the most difficult and some of the most the biggest areas you can make up time. And when you come off that back straightaway, you go down to 13, that left-hander, the car is so fast, and the compression at the bottom of that hill makes the steering super heavy. That's where Will Power said it just got the wheel out of his hands. Then as you come right over to the next one, you're coming over turn 14, it's just, the car gets really light. We've seen Pato O'Ward and several cars go off there in the past, really blind, and it's really, you have to have a lot of faith. And as that, you really hold a lot of G-forces around that area too, coming into 15, 16, and 17. Really difficult areas.
Scott Dixon heads to turn 5.
He will make his way into turn number 5. Everyone now chasing Pato O'Ward with 10 seconds to go. And Jake Pato O'Ward has come to pit lane. So everyone's shooting for that 5 car. Scott Dixon is one of them. Dixon already through turn number 7. He's setting up for the right-hander of 8.
Romain Grosjean leaves the bottom of the hill. Scott Dixon now is in the middle of it. Boy, Dixon again got a little bit loose as he worked his way through turn number 9. Same area what Pato O'Ward did. Then it's Alex Palou, a little bit cleaner. Then it's Scott McLaughlin. He works his way now off of turn number 10. Those, all 3 of them, Mark setting sail to complete the lap.
And Davey, Romain Grosjean has gone to P1.
That's right. We still have some cars. I think McLaughlin's going to be the next one across the line. Dixon made across in that 4th position. Alex Palou in 2nd wasn't enough. Romain Grosjean, I think it's it. Everybody has passed. Your pole sitter is going to be Romain Grosjean.
And you see Michael Andretti with high fives all around, and the crew just below us are pumping their fists, and they're going to have a happy driver too, as Romain Grosjean will be on pole for tomorrow's race. Palou, Award, McLaughlin, Dixon, and Lundgaard, the Fast Six, Davey. An impressive qualifying session.
Impressive session. And we know this kid, he's hungry and get it done. I think the talents, and, a lot of mistakes last year with Roman, a lot of DNFs, a lot of, people, he said he was too aggressive running into him and some things like that. But he has talent, he has speed, and, man, putting that Andretti car, but another pole for Andretti this year.
Well, and I think what it boils down to this year more than anything else, I mean, it's just a victim of circumstance. I mean, gosh, where would he be in the championship chase had Lady Luck smiled on him a bit differently through the first two races of the season, Davey? He was poised for either a race win or a podium finish at both of those races. Both at St. Pete and
absolutely.
Texas.
I mean, and don't count him out of the championship. I mean, he has been in contention at every race to be on that podium, and if not winning, and so don't count him out, because there's a lot of races left, a lot of time left to make up points. I know it hasn't been going his way, but and now we see just opposites. Kirkwood coming up congratulating Grosjean for his pole, no different than he did for Kirkwood in Long Beach.
Well, albeit with a different race team. I mean, we go back. He started 8th, finished 7th, and then, of course, a 7th place start and a 10th place start in 2021. So, he's taken to this place very, very well, Davey, and obviously he's making progress and getting more comfortable here. But I think as a race team now, we wondered at the start of the season if Andretti was still part of the quote-unquote Big Three, or if Arrows McLaren was working to unseat them. I think Michael Andretti's back.
They're hungry. They know what they need to do. They know that they haven't been chalking those wins up. They want to be one of the big three, or big two teams. They say big two. They want to make sure it's three teams that's continuing to win races and championships. And this is, I think when they first came, they really thought they had something with Roman after Coyne, but just had a tough year last year. I think that looks like they have things worked out, and he's a threat every weekend.
Well, this speaks to the parity of this series, this Firestone Fast Six, Davey, because 5 different teams were represented in this Fast Six.
Yeah, isn't that impressive? I mean, and then the Ganassi is the only that has 2 cars. They sit. Where did they end up in that Fast Six right there? So it was Dixon 6th quick and Palou 4th quick. So there's pretty impressive. And how about Pato Award? He won this race. He knows how to get it done. But Lundgaard finds himself in 5th. They've struggled this year, and that's some gleam of hope for that Rahal team.
Yeah, it's a good run.